Hi everyone, welcome to thlympic to improve your math skills with teacher Adnan. Let's start. So this is our first question from Math Challenge past papers. The question says if n is a positive integer and n cubed plus 17 and is always a multiple of one of these numbers. So what I did is I checked whether this number is divisible by 2 and 3, and I realized that it is divisible, so it means it must be divisible by 2 times 3. So according to this rule, if a number is divisible by 2 other numbers, and those 2 numbers doesn't have a common factor, so that number A is divisible by product of these 2 numbers. So if this is divisible by 2 and 3, since 2 and 3 doesn't have a common factor, it means this is divisible by 2 times 3. So first, let's check what is the remainder of 17 from 3, which is 2. So keep this in mind. So we see that 17 gives remainder 2 when divided by 3. Now, let's first prove that this number is an even number. So it will show us that it is divisible by 2. So if n is an odd number, so n has 2 options. N is an integer. It can be even or odd. So if this is odd, let's see what will happen. So odd cube is an odd number because if you multiply any number of odd numbers, you will get another odd numbers. So the cube of an odd number means you multiply 3 odd numbers together. So you get another odd number. 17 is an odd number, and n again odd number. So if you multiply 2 odd numbers, you will get another odd. And when you add 2 odd numbers, you will get an even number, which means n is divisible by 2 if n is odd. What if n is an even number? So even cube means you multiply even 3 times by itself. So again, you will get an even number. And if you multiply an odd number by an even number, again, you will get an even number. So as a result, if you add 2 evens, you will get another even number. So it means that whether our n is odd or even, this number always comes as even, means it is divisible by 2. So this is first. Second, let's show that this number is a multiple of 3. So we have 3 options. If you divide a number by 3, you have 3 possible remainders. One option is it's a multiple of 3, so no remainder. Another option is it may have a remainder of 1 or a remainder of 2. Let's see. So if n has a remainder 0, so it means if n is a multiple of 3, what will happen to this number? So remember, we can work with remainders instead of the original number while checking its remainder from another number. So for example, if you want to check what is the remainder of n cubed from 3, instead of using n, you can use remainder of n from 3. So if n has a remainder of 0, so instead of n, we can use 0. 0 cubed plus 2 times 0 equals 0. Oh, this 2, why this is 2? I think there is a mistake. This should be 17. Sorry, let's write this 17 quickly. So we have a 17 times 0. So what we are going to get is 0 cubed is 0. 17 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. So it means when you divide this number by 3, when n is a multiple of 3, it still gives remainder 0. It means it's a multiple of 3, so it can be divisible by 3. The second option is if n has a remainder 1 when it is divided by 3. So instead of n, we can write 1 because the remainder is 1. So 1 cube is 1 times 1 times 1 plus, I am not sure why I wrote 2 here, but it will be 17. So 17. Right now, 1 plus 17, result will be 18. So still it is a multiple of 3. So at the end, it will give the remainder 0. And the final answer is if n has a remainder 2. Strangely, I always use 2. So there is a misunderstanding. Okay. So if n is 2, if n has remainder 2, so instead of n, we can write remainder 2. So 2 times 2 times 2, which is n cubed, plus 17 times 2. So the answer will come, this will be 34. So 8 plus 34, how much 8 plus 34? 42. So the answer will be 42, and 42 is a multiple of 3. So again, it will give us remainder 0. So finally, we realize that whatever is n, when you divide by 3, it will give the remainder 0, 0, 0, means it is divisible by 3 in every case. So since this number is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3, it is divisible by 2 times 3, which is 6. So the answer will be C. The second question, so it says we are going to use 10 trees in 5 rows, and each row has x trees, so maximum possible number of x. So 2 is the easiest version. So we make 2 lines, each line has 5 trees. So it means 5 rows with 2 trees. So here x is 2, because in every row we have 2 trees. Another option, there can be something like this. For example, 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every row has 3 trees. And what I found is maximum, we have this option. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows. And every row has 1, 2, 3, 4 trees. So in this case, x is maximum 4. So here we have a number which is sum of powers of 3, and these powers must be a positive integer. It doesn't say positive integer, but they are all integers. And also we have this relation, a is less than b, oh yes, they are positive because all of them is more than 0. So a is less than b, b is less than c, c is less than d. So it means there should be only one option which satisfies this condition. Then it asks, what is this value? So what I did is, first I wrote all the powers of 3 until 3 power 6. And then I wrote their values. 1, 3, 3 power 2 is 3 times 3, 9. 3 power 3 is 3 times 3 times 3, 27, 81, 243, and 729. I didn't write more because our number is 840. So since D must be the biggest, I started with this one. Let's say D is 6. So 3 power 6 is this number. So if this is 3 power D, so these 3 must have total 111, because we subtract from total, we got this one. So next power must be less than this. So we cannot get 3 power 5, but 3 power 4 is possible. So if C is 4, so now C is 4, it is 81. So let's subtract 81 from this. So the next 2 numbers, these 2, must have total 30. So let's subtract this one also. Now let's check. This cannot be B because it is, yes, it can be, because it should be less than 30. So the next number is 3, which is B. B is 3. So if B is 3, now at last we left only 3. So we cannot choose this one. A must be 1. So in this case, D is C, C is 4, B is 3, A is 1. Now we need to calculate this. We must follow the order of operations. First multiplication. So 1 times 3, 3. Then we can add or subtract according to order. So the answer is 5. And our final question for today. This is a logic question. There are 3 marbles on a table and they have certain colors, red, blue, yellow, and randomly they put in 3 urns, the urns labeled as A, B, C, and these statements are given. P is there is no red marble in urn A, Q is there is a blue marble in urn B, and R is there is no yellow marble in urn C. We don't know these statements are true or false, but there is another relation is given. So P and negation of Q or R is given true. So if this is true, they ask what are the colors of marbles in these urns. So what we do is first let's make a logic table, P, Q, R. So this is a standard version of how to write a true false table for 3 statements, P, Q, R. So after we get this, let's write what is Q or R. So remember Q or R, if one statement is true, Q or R is true. If both of them false, this will give us false. And since there is a negation, first we will check what is this, then we will take the opposite. So QR, true, true. So this should be true, but since negation, false. So true, false is true with negation, false. False, true is true with negation, false. False, false is false with negation, true. True, true is true, negation, false. True, false is true, negation, false. False, true is true, negation is false. False, false is false, negation gives us true. Now the next one, we will get this one, this statement, P and this negation of Q or R. So we already have negation of Q or R statement, and we have P here. Now we will compare these two. For AND statement, if both true, answer is true. If one of them is false, it will be false. So true and false is false. True and false, false. True and false, false. So the only option is both of them should be true to get true. True, true, true. In all other cases, either both false or at least there is one false. So all others false. Now, when we check true false table for this statement, we have only one option which gives true. So according to this, the P should be true, Q should be false, and R should be false. Imagine that this is the urn A, urn B, urn C. So according to this, we know that P is true. So P says no red in urn A. If A doesn't have red, it means it can be either blue or yellow. And we know that Q is false. Q says the blue marble is in B, but since we know that it is false, there shouldn't be blue here, red or yellow. And the last one says no yellow in C. And since this is false, so it means the yellow is in C. So if yellow is in C, then we know that yellow cannot be blue, red one is in B. And if red one, yellow here and red is here, the last one is blue should be in A. So the final answer is the blue. Let me write so the letters can be confusing. The blue is in urn A, red is in urn B, and yellow is in urn C. So thank you very much. That's all for today. See you in next video. Have a nice day. Take care.